I, unlike you, First Minister, have never voted to cut a health budget. You have, First Minister. Your party has been running the health service here, which the ambulance service is an important part of, for the last 23 years. Another incident that happened in Merthyr Tydfil, where a patient was left on the floor after a 15-hour wait. A 15-hour wait, where the individual's daughter said, and I'll quote her words, they're not my words, they're her words, "In Wales, we are like a third-world country when it comes to healthcare. I am sure Nyron Bevan would be turning in his grave." They're not my words. They're someone whose father was rolling around on a floor for 15 hours. You have been responsible for the health service here in Wales for 23 years. You voted to cut the health budget here in Wales. You can throw your pen down, First Minister, but you are responsible. What are you going to do about it?
Llywydd, I understand the pressure that the Conservative Party is under. I understand how difficult it must be for the Leader of the Opposition to come here and ask questions today. But don't let him believe that by shouting at me, he will persuade anybody outside this chamber that his responsibility, I've not heard ever a single word from him assuming responsibility for the actions of his government. Let's hear it from him next time. Yes, he supported Liz Truss. We know that. We know that. He's partly responsible for the mess we're in. And just shouting at me about the difficulties that are there in the ambulance service, which I acknowledge, and we are working very hard with people who work in the ambulance service to get that service where it needs to be. There's no solution to that by shouting at me as though all the right in this argument belong to him, which we certainly know it doesn't, and that everybody else is at fault. I completely refute, on behalf of those people who work so hard every day in our health service in Wales, that it is accurately described in the way that he did, whoever he may be quoting. Our health service does miracles every single day in the lives of people here in Wales, and it does it because we have dedicated people, doctors, nurses and others, who will have heard him describe the service that they provide in the way that he did. If he thinks that helps at all to improve the service, to make people come in and drive those ambulances and staff those A&E departments, I tell him now, it absolutely does not.
First Minister, I use a direct quote from Mr Keith Morris's daughter. "Pressure is when you see someone you love rolling around on the floor in pain and the service that you are looking to help hasn't arrived for 15 hours. That's pressure, First Minister. You are the First Minister. You haven't said once in response to my two questions the solution that the government is proposing to take this pressure out of the ambulance service and allow them to get on with the job that they do, which is a fantastic job when it works correctly. Now, this is happening time and time again. I could have cited... I hear sedentary voices. I accept that there are pressures across the United Kingdom. But the issue here in Wales is particularly acute. Now, what I want to leave this chamber understanding is what the roadmap from the Welsh Government is as we go further into the winter months to alleviate these problems so that Nyron Bevan will not be turning in his grave and a government that is responsible for the health service has a solution to the problems that Mr Morris and other families are feeling day in, day out.
Well, so the prescription of the Welsh Government is to invest more money in the ambulance service, to have more staff working in the ambulance service, to have a wider range of people able to provide those services, and for ambulances to know that when they arrive at hospitals, that the hospital will be in a position to receive that patient so that the ambulance can get back on the road again and attend in a timely way to other people who are waiting. That is the prescription of the Welsh Government. What do people who work in the service? And as I say, they'll have heard the way that the members describe the service they provide this afternoon. What do they face? He has chosen to use that language. this afternoon. He didn't. And you have chosen to use that language here this afternoon. And what do those people face? They face cuts to their pay because of the policy of your government. And now they face cuts to the budget that the health service itself will have at its disposal. It is shocking. It is absolutely shocking to me that you think that you can turn up here this afternoon with a mess that your party has made to the budget of this country, to the reputation of this country around the world, that you promise those people that there will be more to come, and you think you turn up here this afternoon and claim some sort of moral high ground. What sort of world do you belong in?
Can we stop pointing? Can we take a moment here? And I understand that the arguments and the feelings run high on these issues from a variety of perspectives. I understand some of the shouting taking place, but I won't have people pointing in anger and gesticulating in anger at other people. Can we just take a moment just to calm down? And I'm hoping that Adam Price will contribute to that when I call him to ask his questions.